Unemployment is predicted to surge. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's have a look at this article from the ABC discussing our unemployment rate, and that it could actually be higher than 6.9% according to an analysis of welfare payments. Now, the reason I laugh at the 6.9% is because I don't believe it. I do not believe it at all. And this is the chart here from the ABS showing it at 6.9%. That's because, well, to be considered employed, you only have to have had 1 hour of work during the survey period where the survey was conducted. It's a really an outdated methodology that they're using with regards to gathering this data, but, you know, ABS is stuck with it. I don't know about you, but 1 hour a week, 1 hour during the survey period, I wouldn't mind that if I could live off that, but yeah, it's not enough. It really should be tied to how much you're earning. But that's a whole other thing that's more complicated than one simple number. The politicians can't make a soundbite about it. But another method, another source of data, and I will just jump over to this screen here to my right, and you can see here the Roy Morgan employment estimates. And this is their estimates. We'll go here, their unemployment and underemployment estimate from 2005 to 2020, and we'll scroll right down the bottom because that's where they have it. And here they have 22.3. That is the combined unemployment and underemployment. That's the one I'm really worried about. And here we've got unemployment, looking for work, and underemployed. So their unemployed is 12.9%. Remember, the ABS thinks it's at 6.9. They're saying 12.9. And then underemployed is at 9.4%. That's where we get the 22.3. So you can see here it spiked up in late March to 27.4%. That was under and unemployed. And that's now improved to 22.3. But the unemployment rate is still at 12.9%, which is 6% higher than the ABS data. So, you know, the rule of thumb that I picked up and the people have said, and I'm starting to see here, is you kind of double the ABS data to get an appreciation of what the real unemployment rate is. And let's have a look at these warnings that are coming here from this ABC article. So, Australia's unemployment rate could be much higher than the 6.9% reported last week, according to the ABC analysis of federal government welfare payments. Data on the number of people receiving JobSeeker, the payment the Morrison government introduced at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic to replace unemployment benefit, suggests at least on that measure the unemployment rate is much higher. About 1.5 million Australians, or about 10% of people of working age, received JobSeeker and the unemployed youth allowance in September. It equates to a massive rise year on year, with just 4.8% on New Start and Youth Allowance unemployment benefits in September 2019. So we've gone from September to September in a year, it's gone from 4.8 to 10% of people of working age. According to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, Australia's unemployment rate peaked at 7.5% in July during the pandemic, but has since recovered to 6.9% as the economic situation in most states improved. So we have a look here. Here's the unemployment rate, and there's the JobSeeker youth allowance rate for Australia. New South Wales, unemployment is 7.6, 9%. NT, wow, 15% on welfare. 15%. Tassie, 12. Look at all of these states over 10%, except for the ACT and New South Wales. That's a big problem. That's a big problem. Chief economist at BIS Oxford Economics, Sarah Hunter, said focusing on the headline unemployment rate absolutely does not tell the whole story at the moment, and I think it never really does. It kind of gives you a feel for where the economy is going, probably where the trend is. It's like the auction clearance rates from Domain and all these other places. You can't trust it. It's not 100% accurate, but the general trend is okay. You know, it's like the castle, the vibe. You know, if it's going up or down. I should watch that again. She said one factor in particular was distorting the ABS unemployment rate during the pandemic. People who get benefits while unemployed have a mutual obligation to look for work, but that obligation was suspended at the start of the pandemic to eliminate face-to-face contact for job seekers. The reason this matters is that the ABS only counts people as unemployed, and here it is, if they are actively seeking work. There you go. There you go. So we really need to look at the welfare numbers. Yeah, that's honestly, that's what we should be looking at. Those receiving youth allowance or job seeker and not looking for work are counted as not in the labour force rather than unemployed. And there you have it. Ms. Hunter said a better measure was the effective unemployment rate used by Treasury. It includes the unemployed, the people who have a job but are working 0 hours because they have been stood down or there's not enough work for them, and the net change in the labour force since March. She said the current national effective unemployment rate was 9.3%. Ms. Hunter said it was also important to consider the underemployed, who were working fewer hours than they would like. The ABS defines employment as working for 1 hour or more a week. Okay, so it's 1 hour a week, not 1 hour during the survey period, but still, 1 hour a week, guys. What? I don't know. I've never been able to charge an hourly rate enough to keep us going for 1 hour in a week. Ms. Hunter said the underemployed group had increased from 8.6% of the labour force pre-pandemic to 11.4% in September. The government began phasing in the job hunting requirements for people on job seeker in June and returned to full obligations on September 28th for all states except Victoria. So regional areas are hit hard. In New South Wales, the gap between the unemployment rate and the job seeker rate is much higher in regional and rural areas. In the Richmond Tweed area, the unemployment rate in September was 6.1%. More than 21,000 people in the Richmond Tweed region are receiving job seeker or youth allowance unemployment payments. This equates to 14.5% of the population aged between 15 and 64. Wow. Nearly 15%. So the unemployment rate likely to be much higher than reported in regional areas. So here you've got it. There's the unemployment rate. What? Hang on. 1.9%. That has to be a typo. And the job seeker youth allowance rate is 12.6. How is that right? That's insane. 14.5, 10%, 14.6, 11.2, 14.7, 11.9, 10.6, 14.2. Oh boy. These numbers are not looking good everywhere, are they? Back in September 2019, 7.5% of the Richmond Tweed population were on the New Start or Youth Allowance unemployment benefits. Regional Manager of the Northern Rivers branch of Business New South Wales, Jane Leverty, said the region had lost about 12,000 jobs because of the pandemic. She said about 6,000 had since come back. See, this is the thing. We're not going to have this V-shaped recovery, everyone. We're not going to have it. We're going to probably have a low K, I'd say. A low K. The region depends heavily on tourism and hospitality. We did well over the school holidays, and we're now better positioned for Christmas, Ms. Leverty said. She said businesses in the region expected the numbers employed to shift as the mutual obligation requirements were reintroduced. Businesses are finding it hard to get staff. They're competing with job seeker for workers doing less than 20 hours a week. When job seeker was introduced in March, recipients could earn only $106 per fortnight before their benefits were reduced. And this is the poverty trap. This is the problem with welfare and support. It can become a poverty trap. It can disincentivize you to work because people aren't stupid. If it's a job they don't like, you know, who would do it? All the extra hours, all the costs associated with working, because working costs money. We can just not do it. I mean, in September, the amount was more than doubled to $300, and the overall rate was cut from $11.15 to $8.15 per fortnight. Ms. Leverty said a rise in food manufacturing in the area would lift the number of people in jobs, along with more tourism and events as restrictions were loosened. If we can just keep the trajectory going, we can get back on our feet, she said. I mean, and that's the thing. But we saw what happened with Dan changing the rules once again in Victoria. What do you all think, everyone? Do you trust the unemployment rate from the ABS, or do you lean more towards the Roy Morgan numbers? Which is your preferred unemployment poison? Do you think we should really just be looking at the number of people, percentage-wise, that are on job seeker and youth allowance? That's the most important number right there. How can we address that? How can we create opportunities there? Maybe in some of these regions where it's super high, they need to address some of the minimum wage legislations, make it easier to hire and fire people. Maybe reduce the taxation for people that if you get a job. Maybe if you're long-term unemployed, you know, if you're unemployed for 6 months, you get 6 months tax-free income. Do it once in your life. I don't know. I'm just trying to throw ideas out there. Anything that we can do to encourage people to work and to make it easier for people to take staff on. What are your suggestions, guys? As always, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin. You can buy a merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and I will see you all in the next episode.